Hi there, welcome back to Legacy Finance. In today's episode, I'm going to be sharing with you 7 habits of millionaires that we can all learn from so that it can begin to set us up for financial independence. And if you are new to the channel, Legacy Finance is all about personal finance, investments, and entrepreneurship. On this channel, we help people to grow their money and to attain financial independence. Now, let's get back to the purposes of this video. 7 habits that millionaires have that we can all learn from so that we can equally become financially independent. Now, habits are things that people practice that over the time produce fruits for them. Habits are learnable. They are things that you can observe and learn from. So if you see that some people have certain character traits or they behave in a certain way that is advancing them in life, you can take a clue from that and also learn about it so that it will also be of benefit to you as an individual. So I'll be sharing with you 7 habits that I've studied and observed from most millionaires that we can also implement in our lives. Now, the first of these habits is most millionaires that I've studied and read about, they get educated financially. They get educated financially. And what does it mean to be educated financially? Now, if you look at our educational system is structured in a way that we learn the sciences, the arts, the businesses, and a whole lot of other courses. These courses are good because they serve a specific purpose in society. All right, but one of the other important aspects of life, which is our finances, is not taught in our traditional educational systems. So you have a graduate who has gone through the whole educational system. He's very brilliant, very good. He's in a very good job, but this graduate doesn't have the basic financial knowledge on how to manage money, grow money, and to sustain the money. So this is one of the habits that I've observed from most millionaires. They get educated financially so that they'll be in a good position to really manage money. What you do not know, you cannot do. Okay? Now, how do you get educated financially? I'll be sharing with you just 3 major things that you can do to get educated financially. The first and easiest way is to start reading books related to finances. You can start reading books related to finances. Books are usually written by people and they spend lots of time writing these books. They may have spent 3 or 4 years just to write a book that you can sit and use just 1 or 2 hours to condense all of that information into yourself. So books are a great resource and you can start reading books so that you get educated financially. And I'll recommend the following 2 books if you are just starting out. The first one is The Richest Man in Babylon. It is written by George Glassman. This is a classic. It talks about the Babylonians, what they did, and some of the methods they employed to really become that of a prosperous nation and as prosperous individuals as well. So I strongly recommend this book if you are just starting out. Now, the next book that I strongly recommend is a book written by a well-known author, Robert Kiyosaki, and that goes by the name Rich Dad, Poor Dad. So if you are just starting out, you can start by reading these 2 books, The Richest Man in Babylon and then Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Now, the other way to get educated financially is to enroll into workshops, seminars, okay, relating to finances. Attend workshops and seminars that are about finances so that on these platforms you see a lot of great speakers, motivational speakers, financial speakers who talk about money and everything that is possible with money so that you can get a very good education around the subject of money. Now, the third way that you can also get educated financially is to find mentors. Find mentors. There are people who are very good in the area of money and managing it. So you can identify someone that you wish to model yourself after and associate with this person so that you learn about money very quickly. So that is the first thing. Get educated financially is very, very important. And you soon come to see that one of the fundamental things you learn as you are getting educated is an asset and a liability and the differences between these two. Most of the causes of poverty in the world is because many people do not know the difference between just these 2 things. We go about buying things that we don't need just to please people that do not really care about us, instead of investing in assets that will over time give us more returns. So that is the first thing, get educated financially. And that is the first habit that I've seen that most millionaires have, which is helping them to really be that rich. Now, the next habit that I'll be sharing with you is what I call most millionaires choose the right profession. Most millionaires choose the right profession. If you look at the amount of time that we spend in our jobs, we spend not less than 8 hours. Some even work more than that. 8 hours is a third of your day. 8 hours is a third of your day. So imagine working in a career or a profession that you are not passionate about. You do not really like it, but you have to spend a third of your life in this workspace. Truth is that what you do not like doing, eventually you do not produce your optimum best in such a workspace. So this will go a long way to affect your output at the workplace. It will affect your relationship with your co-workers. It may even extend to your home, where it will affect your relationship with your wife and your kids and your friends out there. So it is very important that you choose the right occupation or career. And this is something that most millionaires have done, and it has helped them to develop very well in their chosen careers. So make some time and study yourself. Identify your strengths. What are you really good at? What can you do so much well in without much effort? And what are you really willing to do without seeing it as a source of work? Identify what you are really good at and spend time in developing yourself around that so that you can build a career around what you are really interested in. It will save you lots and lots of headache and worry in the long run. So that is the next habit that I've observed that most millionaires have. Now let's get into the third habit. The third habit is what I call most millionaires choose the right partner. Most millionaires choose the right partner. As I mentioned earlier on, you spend not less than 8 hours at the workspace. Equally, you spend a lot of time too in your home. When you leave work, where do you go to? The next most likely place is your home. And in the home, you are going to spend a lot of time with your life partner. Imagine living with a life partner that you are not really in love with, someone that you are constantly fighting, someone that nags you all the time, someone that you are always afraid to go back to home to. So it's very important that when choosing a life partner, you choose someone that is very compatible with you, someone who can live at peace with you, someone who understands you, someone who is ready to support you, because life comes with its own chariot of problems. And if you are not really strong and you do not have a stronger person or someone who loves you, backing you, chances are that you buckle down to life and it will keep you down the financial ladder, and that will not help you attain the financial prosperity that we are all clamoring for. So make sure that you choose the right partner, because for the most part you'll be spending not less than 30 to 40 years of your life with this life partner, lying on the same bed with this person. So it's very important that you learn this habit from millionaires, that the fact that they choose the right partner. Do not make that mistake, okay? Imagine the number of divorce cases that are being reported annually across the world. All this comes down to the fact that people do not take their time to choose the right life partner. All right, let's get into the next habit that millionaires have that we can easily learn from, so that it will set us up for financial prosperity. And that is, most millionaires become very good at their craft. They are masters of their craft. Now, aside the fact that they choose the right profession, once they get into the right profession, they invest a lot of time and energy into learning about the craft, into learning about the trade, so that they truly become masters or very good at this craft. Now, when you become very good at the craft, it serves you the following purposes. One, it makes you more productive, making you more of a utility to your employer. You become respected in your workspace as you become more productive. Aside this, it also means that you have a higher chance of demanding for higher salary or higher returns for the work that you do. And the third thing is the fact that it gives you that confidence, peace of mind, and that also raises your self-esteem as well. And this will go a long way to affect not only your output at work, but your output in other areas of life too as well. So it's very important that we learn this habit that millionaires have, the fact that they spend a lot of time to invest in themselves so that they truly become very good at their craft, aside from just choosing the right craft. All right, now let's get to the next thing that millionaires have. The next habit that millionaires have is that they start investing very early. They start investing very early. Now, there is this saying by one of the most popular scientists of our times, that's Albert Einstein. He said that compound interest is the eighth wonder of the world. He who understands it earns it. He who doesn't pays for it. Meaning that this is a law that is in action, it's in motion. It doesn't matter if you know it or not. It doesn't matter if you know it or not. If you know it and you are using it, it pays you. If you know it and you are not using it, you pay for it. And ignorance is not an excuse. The fact that you are not aware of it doesn't mean that it doesn't apply to you. So what the rich people do is that they start investing very early. They start investing early, and as they are investing, they are reinvesting the interest on top of the principal, so that it keeps compounding over time. And as the money compounds over time, it will begin to set them up for financial prosperity and financial independence. So it is very important that we learn this from the rich. The fact that they take advantage of compound interest so that they are able to grow their wealth over time. It's a very important character trait that you and I can pick from. Now let's talk about the next habit that millionaires have that we can learn from. And that is the fact that most millionaires live below their means. Most millionaires live below their means. What does it mean to live below your means? Once you start working and you start earning more and more money, chances are that you want to raise your standard of living. If you were using a Toyota Corolla and you get a salary raise or you begin to earn more money, you may want to go in for a four-wheel drive or a car that is higher than your present car. This is a condition that they call lifestyle inflation. Lifestyle inflation, the ability to keep on increasing your expenses as you earn more money. However, what I've noticed about these rich people is that as their earnings begin to escalate or increase, they try to maintain their present life conditions as they are. Okay, so that difference that now comes in as salary or earnings is rather channeled into their investment fund. Then the investment fund then grows over time to give them more money as well. So they learn to live below their means. They do not go out buying fancy cars or buying luxury houses just to please society. If you take the likes of Dangote for instance doesn't have a home in London. He doesn't have a private jet. But there are people who are working for him that own private homes and private jets. That is because as they are earning more, they are suffering under what I call lifestyle inflation. But the one who has employed them doesn't do these things, and therefore his money keeps growing exponentially, and he's able to build more and more companies and employ more and more people. So this is another habit that I've observed from most millionaires. They do not practice lifestyle inflation. They learn to live below their means. Now, before I take leave of you, this is something that I found out. Most millionaires are self-made. Most of us think that millionaires come from rich homes, or they inherited their wealth, or they came from better homes that helped them to grow the money. But the truth is that most millionaires are self-made. There is this book written by Thomas Stanley. He did some research on about over tens of thousands of millionaires, and he discovered that about 80% of them are self-made. And the interesting thing is that they are even first generation millionaires, meaning that they are the first people to be millionaires in their family. No one, or there has never been a millionaire in the family line before. They are the first people. And it is these habits that I'm sharing with you here that most of these millionaires have practiced, that have positioned them to become millionaires. So what works for A will also work for B. That's a universal law. So if you are ready to commit to these habits, these practices, then you are setting yourself up for financial prosperity. Okay. Now, before I wrap up, I want to share with you one last important habit that I observed from most millionaires, and that is the fact that they pay themselves first. Most millionaires pay themselves first. Once you get paid at the end of the month, when you work and you get paid, the government is the one that gets paid first through what they call the tax system. Then your net comes in. Then for most of us, liabilities now come in, like our debt payment, our utilities, monies we send to families. However, one important thing that we leave out is the fact that you are the one who is out there working. You are the one on the front working. And you deserve at least a percentage of that money. So it's very important that we learn this from millionaires. We have to learn the culture of paying yourself first. Now, it becomes very difficult if you try to do this manually. So the easiest way to do it is to automate the whole process, where you walk to your bank, you discuss with the management of your bank that you want this percentage of your salary sent into this particular account at the end of every month as savings for yourself for working every month. Usually it's recommended that you pay yourself not less than 10% of what you earn as money geared towards yourself. So as I said earlier, these habits that I'm sharing with you have been time tested and proven to be right. Anyone who practices them will be setting himself or herself up for financial prosperity. And if you are not yet subscribed to the channel, please remember to subscribe and hit the notification bell. And remember to hit the like button so that it will help us to grow this channel and to create more valuable content like this. Thank you very much for watching, and you can also watch our other videos that are somewhere on this screen here. Bye.